Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. I hope you guys are having a good day and I hope you're well. So today we're going to be talking about what it's like to transition from Mortal Kombat to Tekken, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the Tekken elitism that exists within the Tekken community. So I've had a few questions in my comment section of people asking me, will I be able to switch over from Mortal Kombat to Tekken? Will I be able to make that transition? And the short answer is, of course you will. It is not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to break it to you, but it's just a game. I know the Tekken Elitists might have told you that there is no chance that you will survive in Tekken, but it's not brain surgery. It's just a game. You pop it in your PS5 or you turn on Steam, you boot up training mode, and you learn like everybody else does. What I will say before we go into the video is that even though we will be discussing some of the Tekken Elitists, I do want you guys to know that I have a lot of friends in the Tekken community that have been very welcoming and have helped me learn the game. There are a lot of nice personalities in the Tekken community and a lot of people that are going to open their homes to you or even open their online lobbies to you, whatever it might be, and they'll be very happy to teach you the game. I think Tekken 8 is going to be one of the more welcoming games to newcomers, both in-game and community, because the community is really on a high right now. Tekken 7 ended on such a high note and everybody's really excited. It's not a Debbie Downer like Mortal Kombat. There shouldn't be any gatekeeping. You will get gatekeeping from some sections of the community. Some people will have sticks up their bums. It happens everywhere you go. Tekken's no different. And with the Tekken Elitists, because Tekken is the most difficult fighting game, they're going to really make out like there's just no way you can come over here because we're brain surgeons and you're just a veterinarian. That's the energy you're going to get from some people. But more often than not, the Tekken community are really cool. They're really nice and everyone's generally in good spirits. Now, what I am going to do in this video is I'm going to show you a couple of tweets for what I believe is what most NRS players are going to encounter, which goes into the Tekken elitism that I wanted to briefly discuss. And I'm going to talk to you about the things you need to look out for when you're going from Mortal Kombat to Tekken. If you go on Twitter, unfortunately, you will encounter some people that are telling you that as an NRS player, you're not going to survive in Tekken. Tekken is just far too difficult for the feeble minds of the NRS player. And I'm here to tell you, don't listen to those people. Is Tekken the most difficult fighting game on the market of the major fighting games? The answer is yes. And it's quite clear and you can see it on the screen. Tekken is astronomically more difficult than Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. And I'd say it's more difficult than Dragon Ball FighterZ and Guilty Gear and most of the other fighting games. The only one that really used to come close to it was Virtua Fighter, but now because of how much stuff is in Tekken, the scope is just far too grand. So I would say Tekken is the most difficult and it's the most punishing. However, it is the most rewarding out of all of them. So I'm going to show you a tweet from an individual called Daddy Swift. Now, I'm not necessarily singling out Daddy Swift because he is a bad guy. I don't actually know who Daddy Swift is, but I did find the tweet very good at illustrating my point. So he says, NRS guys switching to Tekken 8 and didn't play any prior Tekken games are in for a rude awakening. And then he goes on to say, I can't wait to hear them complain about whoring. And then Dr. Platinum says, yeah, I'm gonna sit back and watch the chaos unfold. I hope they stick with the game, but we know how that goes. And then this guy says, they're gonna be pressing buttons wondering why the hell their assist character ain't popping up on the screen. Now, these kind of tweets irritate me because these kind of guys pretend like Tekken is like driving a car when you've never had a driver's license before and never sat behind a wheel. Or they pretend like it's building a motherboard when you have no knowledge of how PCs work, or they pretend it's like steering a plane when the pilot has passed out and there's a mountain in front of you. It's not that. It's just not that, guys. Please do not be put off by people like this. You're going to see it all over Twitter. And I'm here to tell you, as someone that plays Tekken to a competent level, you're going to be okay. Now, it's easier for Tekken guys to transition into Mortal Kombat because Mortal Kombat is very simplistic and it does share one or two things that Tekken does, namely in the strings. But for a Mortal Kombat player, it is going to be more difficult. What you need to look out for first in Tekken when you are moving over is movement. You need to be working on your movement. Movement in Tekken is extremely important. Now, from I'd say Tekken 7, Tag 2, 6, 5, 4 to a lesser extent, 4 is kind of its own beast, but 5, 6 and 7, moving backwards was extremely important. So much so that the Koreans invented a style of moving backwards called the Korean backdash. And that has become very popularized, especially in Tekken 7. You can even watch back the Tekken World Finals when VDX was playing. You could see how good his movement is and how well it was helping him progress through the fights. In Tekken 8, they've kind of changed that. They've nerfed the backdash, and so now there's more of an emphasis on being in somebody's face and moving side to side. They're encouraging people to press more buttons. So what I'd say to you as an NRS player, first of all, ignore people like this on Twitter. Go into training mode and work on your movement. The second thing that you need to look out for in Tekken games, and probably the most important thing, is work on your defense. So you want to go into your move list, you want to look at your unique attacks. Tekken 8 has held the player's hand. It's literally holding out an olive branch for you. Where in previous Tekkens, they won't really tell you what to look out for. They'll sort of give you the game. There's no real practice mode or training mode that sort of guides you through what you need to do. In Tekken 8, they are literally showing you what you need to look at, how you need to use it, and when the best time is to apply it. So they break it down in the move list. So you want to learn those key attacks, and then you want to learn how to bob and weave around your opponents, how to defend, because unlike Mortal Kombat where you're normally ducking low to block, because in 2D fighters you use down back, or in Mortal Kombat's case you press the block button and down. In Tekken you want to block standing, because mid attacks are the real problem. They're the things that you want to look out for. So you cover your offense and your defense when you go into the movement list and you look at what you need to be focusing on and how you need to be defending, and then you use those moves to start working on your punishing. Now use jabs to begin with, because they're a 10 frame punish. They're your quickest punish in most cases. It will give you an idea of when you can press buttons, when you can't, and then you can sort of start experimenting with your 12 frames, your 13 frames, and your 15 frames. Now in Tekken, they have counter hit, much like most other fighting games. Mortal Kombat doesn't really seem to have this. It certainly doesn't operate in the way that it does in Tekken and Street Fighter. So you need to go into training mode again and look at the counter hit properties of attacks. You're probably going to be looking at the screen and you're going to be thinking, holy shit, this stage is gigantic and there's a lot of factors here. And it's true, stages in Tekken do play a big role in how the fight is shaped, especially now with the white health. Knocking people through walls or knocking them off balconies does actually have an effect on the match. So you need to learn about the stages you're on. So the first part of this video is me really telling you that you're going to encounter Tekken elitism, but you need to focus on those couple of things, and there is a way in for NRS players. It's like I said, it's very easy for someone like me who has a Tekken background to go into Mortal Kombat because it's very simplistic and they share Tekken strings to a degree, but for an NRS player it might seem a bit overwhelming. Now what I did want to say, and the most important thing, and something they demonstrated on the Red Bull gaming page yesterday when they were demoing Tekken 8 to everybody in the Red Bull gaming sphere, is that Tekken has this brand new mode, innovative mode. I've never seen anything like it. It's very revolutionary. And what happens is when you finish a fight, your replay gets stored onto the game. What you can do is go into your replays, go to a specific point where you don't understand what happened. Say for example, Jack hit you with a move that you don't know, or Feng Wei hit you with a move you don't know, right? Let's say Feng Wei hits you with forward 3-2, which is a new string. Historically, he would do forward 3-4, which would launch you for a big combo, but now he has the option to do forward 3-4, forward 3-2, sorry, and maybe you don't know it's a high and you're thinking this move is safe, what do I do? He keeps on applying the pressure. Go to your replay section, open up the replays, pinpoint the 10 seconds in which he does that. The replay will then allow you to enter the match for those 10 seconds to work out where to block, where to step, or where to punish.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you can really look back at the situation. It's almost as if you can, it's like going to the alternate timeline.
So just look at that straight away, right? So Jun and Bobsy is there. So he goes for forward one into that big kick. Now, let's see what happens here. We go for the forward one. Now, I can pause it with circle. I press circle, I pause it. I press L3, and this is what blew my mind, guys. I'm able to put myself back into the replay. I go back in time, and then we can actually control the character. So I'm gonna do this. I got hit by this move. So what do I do now? I want to retry it. We go back. What could I have done in this situation, Bobsy?
So definitely we know that Jack move is a high. So you can't actually interrupt it from forward one on block. So you can duck it and launch.
Wow, okay.
You can see right there. Or you can actually side step left. So
side step left. Okay, let's give that a go.
Or side walk left. Yeah,
oh,
you can see
look
right
at that.
there. And that is all the way to his back. You're going to get a huge punish off of that.
And that's going to be massive for new players because there are so many things in Tekken where it's very situational because of how the stages are designed and the scope of the stages and where you might be on the stage, that it's very hard to replicate it in training mode. That mode is going to allow you, that replay feature is going to allow you to do that now. So it's much easier for a new player to come into Tekken and figure out how to work things. Now, are you going to lose your first 100 matches brutally against better players? Yes. In Tekken, the better player always wins. If you are a new player and you come up against someone like me, for example, and you don't really understand anything about Tekken and you learn a couple of attacks here and there, it's not like Mortal Kombat where you're going to do down one Storm Cell to me and throw Kung Lao's hat. It's just not going to go down like that. More often than not, if you play an experienced player, they are absolutely going to mollywop you. You need to Mentally condition yourself to understand that you're going to lose on Tekken. You have to lose on Tekken. I started playing Tekken back in Tekken 1. I got Tekken 1 and I've been playing Tekken ever since. And Tekken 5 is really where the modern framework comes from. So if you were playing Tekken 5 and then 6, Tag 2 and Tekken 7, you can easily transition into Tekken 8. So for somebody like me, it's very easy. But I can tell you in that time, I got absolutely battered by better players. I can give you multiple stories. One of my closest friends, Liono, we would play Tekken Tag 2 for hours. And I used to think, man, I'm getting really good at this. And then he'd come over and absolutely destroy me. And I would sit there and think, I don't want to play this anymore. I don't know what is going on. And he's just hitting me with all sorts of tomfoolery. I don't know where to block. And then Tekken 7 came up and the gap between us got smaller because I put more time in. And I had that knowledge from Tekken 5 and Tekken 6 and Tag 2 that helped me move over. And as time went on, the matches were going from 10-0 to 10-2, 10-0 to 10-4, 10-0 to 10-6, with our most recent one ending in 10-9 to me. And me overcoming somebody like Liono, even if it was only a few sets, was a very big deal for me, because even though Liono has been out of the Tekken scene for a very long time, he was one of the best UK players. He was like the top lore, the top lay at the time. Being able to move past his skill level, or at least catch up to his skill level, was a really big deal for me. It was very rewarding. And that's the thing with Tekken, it will reward you. You will get beat down, you will not understand, but if you have more than one brain cell, you'll switch off the game and you'll be like, there was probably something I could have done there. Let me go into training mode, let me lab it. Now the good thing is that Tekken 8 has so many robust training mode features. It's going to hold your hand and you're going to be okay. You just need to stick with it. Do not go on Twitter and listen to Tekken Elitists that are going to tell you that you ain't going to be able to make it because they've been playing Tekken all their lives and Tekken is the superior fighting game. Yes, Tekken is the superior fighting game. I think everybody knows that. But here to tell you that you're going to be completely fine. You just need to have some patience. The thing with Mortal Kombat and the thing with its scene is that a lot of them feel more powerful or empowered by the game because there's not much going on in it. So you can pick up Mortal Kombat 1 very quickly, learn 40% combos within 30 seconds and apply them in a match. Because of the way frame data works in Mortal Kombat, because of the way block stun works, and because of the way chip works, it makes people feel like they have ascended to a level that they may not be at in other fighting games. You can transition from other fighting games quite easily, like Street Fighter for example, to go into Tekken. I'd say you have an easier time because you learn more about footsies and spacing. Mortal Kombat is more of an unga bunga game. It's very casual friendly, and so they don't have a lot of things that make Tekken or Street Fighter or Dragon Ball FighterZ or Guilty Gear very complex or complicated games. I'm here telling you basically, because some of you have been asking in my comment section, yes, you're going to have a rough time. Yes, Tekken is going to beat you down, but luckily for you, Tekken 8 has amazing features that are going to hold your hand, and as long as you have some patience, you will become good. When you boot up the game and you go into ranked, you're going to be stuck in a certain rank for some time. All of us have gone through it, but I can tell you that I got stuck in the purple ranks for a long time. I didn't know how to get out of them. Every time I'd get there, I'd get like worried that I'm going to encounter somebody else in purple ranks, and I'd already mentally defeat myself. After a while, I got used to it, and I'm happy to say that I finally got to Tekken God. I feel like I've hit a rank that I'm happy with, and I'm happy to move into Tekken 8 with that rank. So that's all I really want to say today, guys. A simple, easy weekend video for you to enjoy. Like I said, the stream is coming up with Fate. We're going to discuss a couple of things, so it'll be a free-flowing conversation and see where it goes. And I've got some other content planned for the channel. Once again, I wanted to say, whether it's positive or negative, I appreciate all of your comments. I really appreciate all the likes on the video. I appreciate the 1,000+ new subscribers that have been gained in this past week. And I intend to do more commentary based things like this moving into Tekken 8. I will probably still be talking about the state of Mortal Kombat because I do believe that we need to push for change on this game. I'll be playing Tekken 8 in the background, maybe Yakuza, maybe some other games. We'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Don't worry about Tekken 8, you'll be okay, and I'll catch you soon. Peace.